Hey, there we are. Hello, how is everyone doing? All right, let me get settled in here. It has been a minute, hasn't it? It really, really has. Um, all right, so there's nothing in front of me, right? Okay, so it has been a long summer already, and this area that I'm in, unfortunately, I don't have central air in my home. So unfortunately, this room, it's in the back of my house and it doesn't get a whole lot of air at all. And so it's just steaming in the summertime. And so to sit back here and close everything up for the quiet and, be painting and recording, it's sometimes pretty awful, to be honest. I actually also have my office here as well, just for my, 9 to 5 job. And most days I start working in the room back here. And then about 11 o'clock, I'm usually out in the other part of the house, pick up my laptop and move. So, just to give you an idea that I have not been painting back here. And this is where my setup is. I have a lot of my permanent stuff here. So I just haven't been working back here, thus, i.e., I have not been recording. Now, not to say that I suppose I couldn't, figure out how to record, outdoors or on my cell phone or something like that. But it's for me just easier. It has, however, allowed me to spend some real quality time with my family. We've been working a lot in the yard recently. If you're first time around poking in here, my husband and I are more or less building a little food forest. We are turning my little home into a homestead. So we have a lot of work to do in addition to all of the perennial things that we're putting in. I am also, tending to an annual garden. So we've just been really, really busy, and it's been really, really hot, and it's uncomfortable. So like I said, I've been working. If you follow me on Facebook, I've been working. I've been doing stuff. I've been pretty dang busy, actually. Making sure that I'm going to be ready for craft show season this year. But I just haven't been recording or streaming. So here I am. We've got a string of about 3 days here that are going to be relatively nice. It's about 70 degrees and cloudy. So hey, here I am. Okay, and like I said, this is sort of a check-in stream. I just want to kind of show off what I've been doing because I haven't been posting too many pictures either because I've sort of been in this mode of making, right? I've kind of got this little production line of stuff that I've been doing, and I've just been making. I haven't even taken any photos really of the work that I've been doing, other than I just took a few snaps on my cell phone just to kind of share what I was doing with some friends and family and stuff. But they're not the traditional photos that I do, for my, for when I'm posting online and stuff. So they're just, quick things. I've been molding. I did some videos previously about using Cementol and making the tea light holders, and then I've also expanded that this year. So what I will do, this can sit for a moment. This is what I'm going to be working on right now, but I'll talk about that in a second. So what I've sort of been working on, in addition to the stuff that I did last year, like these, right, the tea light holders. So I molded these myself with the Happy Dotting Company's stuff. I did want to just recreate a couple of them, or sort of the idea of some that I did last year, because those are the ones that actually sold at my fairs last year. So I I redid the blue one, except the blue one that I have here on the channel is actually a much lighter base color blue. This one is the Prussian blue. I just liked the darker contrast on this. And see, some of these I need to touch up because I was in such a hurry. Some of them, like this one, I've got some paint splatters on and things. So this one, I haven't even removed some of the lines that I put on here yet. So yeah, they still need touched up, right? But these are the main ones that I'm going to be doing this year, in addition to whatever I had last year still left over. And then I've been doing a bunch of bugs. I don't know if you guys remember my bugs from last year. Let me get out a couple. So these are my little bugs. Okay, now these ones I've put some magnets on. So I'm testing that out. I'm gonna just kind of pour these out over here so I can get a couple to show you. Now these two are the only ones that I've done magnets on so far. Okay. Let's see what else I've got in here. Okay, and then I gotta show you these. I gotta dump this out. I've got a little envelope over here that I've been working on. Okay. Look at this. Aren't these adorable? I'm missing a blue. There we go. Okay, so these all started on a different, for a different reason. Okay, I think those are, other than the ones I had from last year, I think those are the newest ones. Okay, so I'll kind of talk you through these because I know they just look cute and all, right? So, and I did get inspiration from Lori Bug Rocks. She's the best. Oh my gosh. And I do my best to take inspiration from her, but not duplicate anything that she has done directly, right? Because I just, for one, I don't really feel great about that. And actually she recently, and it kind of struck me too, because she posted recently how she feels like some people have stolen some of her stuff, which is heartbreaking, right? So, but I do take inspiration from her because I love her so much. But I've got a little girl bug and a little boy bug, right? Because these are just, I seen at my show last year that I did, I had a lot of kids come up and look through stuff and a lot of little boys. And then I realized I don't really have a whole lot of stuff for the boys, right? And so I wanted to make some dinosaurs and things like that. But I started just with the green and the pink ones. I had some bugs that, I don't know if you can even tell on some of these. Some of them, when I made them, keep in mind, these are offcasts, right? So when I make these and when I make the other things that I'm showing you, I often have little bits of the mix left, or just some off mix at the bottom of the box. And so I make bugs. And some of these bugs, the edges here, so I don't know if you could even see that. So the edges are not clean. They're a little bit rough. They might have gotten a little bit chipped, things like that. And so I decided to turn them into cookies. So little crumbly chocolate chip cookies. So I hope they look like cookies. This is just my confetti bug. I did bees because the other thing that I'm going to show you here in a moment, I actually am going to at least attempt to do some honeycombs. And I thought bees would go nice with that. I don't know if the honeycombs are actually going to come to fruition or not. I still haven't finished those. And then these. These guys, let me grab this other stuff here. This is the other part of stuff I've been doing. I'm telling you, I've been so busy. I have made keychains, right? And I know you guys have seen some keychains processing on the channel. I've worked on some of them. Okay, but this is what I actually started with. Let me get this out of the bag. Okay, so these keychains, right? I left them loose and then I made the dots on them very thick, and so they're pretty tactile, right? And I just liked this look. I liked these little dots, right? And so I've carried these across into my bugs. And then of course you can see I did their faces and all the colors. And then I'm actually going to do the same thing here on these. I'm going to try to miniaturize them. So let me get this back in the bag. All right. So I thought these turned out adorable. My daughter, I don't know if any of you out there that are going to see this are going to have any clue, because, you know, obviously I didn't either. My daughter plays Roblox and she plays this game called Dandy's World, and she absolutely flipped because apparently the main character or the boss or whatever in this game looks like this. It has a face in the center and it's just like this. Right? So she got super excited. She thought I was making Dandy's World bugs, but okay, so not off to that. So in addition to that, I made several more of these ones. This one is kind of a dark purple. I made a teal one of these. I have these light blue ones, and then I flipped the colors, so I have a dark blue one of these. I have some of these ones that are the pinks. I did some green ones. I did some black and white ones. I've got, I think, I don't know, 24, 25 of those, right? So I've got all these keychains, and all of my bugs. And then for the piece, that is this don't see. Okay, I'm gonna put these guys back. I'll leave these out because I need to put those back on my refrigerator. Okay, then okay. So now like I said, I have I expanded doing more molds. And I've got a lot of them that are still packaged, so I'm going to have to unpackage these for you. But I am doing these ones. I just finished, so they're not cleaned up yet. Okay, so I'm going to make coaster sets, or you can use them separately as little trinket dishes. All right, so I've got these ones. Like I said, these ones are not even coated yet. I've still got some touch up to do on those. I've got that, and then they're matching a little trinket dish. Like I said, I got into the making mode, and so as soon as I made something and then I got it sealed, I started packaging them up, and I didn't even realize. I didn't even take photos. I didn't do anything. So I have a set of these. This I call my Columbine. Right, so these are all sealed, so little trinket dishes. I'll show you some of the other ones too before I get to painting. Let's see, what have I got here? My box down below me is just overflowing. And then I did the monochrome set, and these do all have backs on them and stuff, so yeah, very, very, very shiny. So that's what these ones will eventually look like as well. So I did the two versions. So I don't know if anybody will like the brown. I like the brown, but then again, my whole house is kind of in that color scheme. So we'll see if that works. And the other ones that I will show you, I have a couple of other ones. Columbine, the monochrome. The other ones are white that I did. Those are the ones that I kind of want to show you that you feedback. I also did these. Okay, this is a whole set Again, they've got backs. Now this one, I grabbed a box from the Dollar Tree, and I had planned on wanting to use these for something else, and then I realized they fit perfectly. So I did one of these dragonfly sets in the box, and then the monochrome one that I just showed you with the hex, I did another one for that one. I think actually what I want to do is, so here's the other one. One thing I was considering doing, I don't know if I need to sell these separately or not. I don't know if the boxes are going to add any value. But I did want to do another color combination of these. I do like the way that they turned out. They're real super simple. And I think I want to do another color. I'm thinking of probably like this, you know, the cherry merlot, something like that. I think that would look nice on these. I have so many of these right now. Like I said, I've been so busy. I think I've done so many sets. Where's my blue? I'll show you this one. I have the round coasters too for these that match these. They must be at the bottom of my box. And I really like these. I think they came out really pretty and crisp. Really nice and crisp white. So I did a couple of all of those. I don't know if I would sell necessarily the sets separately or not. I don't really know. I'm still kind of figuring that out. But yeah, so I did all of the molds on those. So I did all of the molds. I'm doing more tea lights and doing more hexagonal, round, and oval trinket dishes, or the coaster sets. I mean, and each set is 4 of the coasters. I mean, it takes me about an hour and a half to paint them, plus the time that it takes, you know, to to actually mix and pour and do everything on them. So I feel crazy. That feels like all I've been doing is making and painting coasters and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Now that I actually ran out of the mix, and so I went and bought more mix, and then I'm like, you know what, I think this is a good time just to take a quick break from that and do something else, you know, do something a little different. So like I said, that's sort of just what I've been up to. I've been trying to figure out for my first show this year what I actually want to take with me. I kind of want to use the first show just to try to figure out what's gonna sell this year, because I have no idea. Last year I really thought the tea lights were gonna go well, and they didn't go as planned. Not like I didn't sell any, but it's a lot harder to hold than I remembered. But for right now, so I've got these little tiny jars, and as you can see, I'm just painting them black. Now, I've added some glass medium to this so that the paint sticks nice. Oh, before I paint one of them too, I want to check my sizes. I don't know how I'm going to hold this. Might just have to do it in stages. I did something very similar last year with these, with painting the lids, I mean. I don't remember it being that annoying. Let's take all the lids off. But surprisingly, I don't know what people do with these. I'll be honest, I don't know if they're just for decoration. But I had a whole bunch of the small glass jars that I did last year. And they sold out. So definitely something that I wanted to do again this year. Try some different designs and things. But yeah, these ones here, these little tiny ones, I actually grow chamomile. And last year, I actually those are perfect size to put dried chamomile flowers in for tea. And so I went ahead and put enough chamomile flowers, dried chamomile flowers, fresh from my garden, in each of the little vials to make 2 cups of chamomile tea. And I sold those, and they come in a pack of 5, these little jars, and so I sold 5 of them. So I don't know that I'm going to fill them again this year, though. Unfortunately, my chamomile harvest did not. It was short-lived this year. It was just so hot. But the other ones I didn't fill. I didn't do anything with them. I just painted them and just marketed them as fairy jars. And I guess people can do whatever they want with them, but I was kind of curious what people do with them. I've looked it up. I know that they are marketed a lot for example, you know, saving sand from the beach. Or, you know, some kind of special thing from a vacation that you had, or an event like your wedding or something like that, which I totally get. But they're so small. I don't know if people actually do that. I've heard that you can make them into wish jars. And my understanding with that is that you take a piece of paper and you write down your wish and you roll it up nice and tight and you put it in the jar, and you put the jar where you can see it, right? Where you see it every day. Okay. Oh, the playlist that I had running was something that I had never used before. I'm going to skip over that song just because the vocals kind of distract me in the background. But then what you're supposed to do with the wishes is, you know, put the jar in a place where you see it all the time. And that's supposed to help the wish in the jar come true. I think it's a cute idea. I don't know that these are kind of jars that you could put on necklaces or whatever. I don't think they're the appropriate size for that, but I suppose that's something else that I've seen that people can do. So, okay. This is just a mess, and I decided I'm just going to embrace the mess, and it's fine. I'm okay getting a little bit of paint on me. Maybe even a lot of little paint here. It's kind of just a base coat anyways. Okay. There. Loop. Okay. Now, before I do this last one, I need a little piece of paper. I don't even have my notebook in here with me today. Okay. I've got a sticky note over here that'll work. Can you tell? This kind of stuff is not my strong suit. Okay. All right, so essentially all I'm doing, see, and I wanted to draw it upside down as well because I know that the top is a little smaller. Actually, let me try to do that one more time. Because I'm going to use this to measure. Oops. See, and I moved it again. Goodness gracious. Okay, it just needs to be sort of the right shape. Okay, and what I want to do, let's see, let's try 3 first, probably. If I can find my 3. Just dumped everything out on my desk. Like I said, I haven't been painting in this room, so all of my stuff I put in like a little bag, and it sort of just traveled with me. I'm just going up in size here. 6 looks like that might work. Okay. Maybe not. Looks like it might be a little large. Yep, it's going to be too large. So let's go back down to a 5. Let's even go 4.5. Okay. I was thinking 5 might be pushing it, but you know what? 5 might be absolutely perfect. Let me try something. Since I have to paint it anyways, I don't know why I didn't do this to start. It's right on the edge. Sorry, get my hand out of the way. But hey, look at that. Yeah, 5 is gonna work perfect. Okay, get that tossed. Doop, doop, doop. Silly me. Sometimes I think about something and I overthink it. And that was totally overthought. All right, let's go back to the first one here. One thing I've also discovered this summer is although spray paint is easier, quote unquote, I hate it. Like, painting things like the tea light holders and the coasters and stuff, painting the backgrounds. I mean, since it's been so hot, the idea is, yes, it's simpler. You know, you can just spray it instead of sitting here and painting stuff on. But at the same time, the problem is when it's so hot, you can't be outside painting stuff. You know, there's just no way that I'm going to stand out in the 90, 95 degrees, which isn't good for the paint either, trying to get stuff done outside. So even though spray paint is easier to get the base coat on, it's not something that I can actually do during the day, especially on a weekend like this, you know. So for the most part, I've actually stuck with just painting on the backs, the backgrounds, almost everything. Okay. Right. And this one needs another second to dry, and then I'll do the bottom. Okay. I think that one's good. This one I still see some silver. Okay. Just gonna let that dry a little. That'll take me just a couple of seconds. If anyone has any ideas for my bugs too, let me know, because I'm gonna have a few more. And any specific color combinations that you'd like to see, or little designs or whatever. Something, you know, that I can feasibly do. Okay. It's one thing I like about this kind of paint, though, it does dry so fast. Okay. And I'm not looking to get these perfect. I know that they're not going to be perfect. And once they're painted, you're hardly going to see this stuff in the background anyways, so. Okay, done there. This one needs a little bit on top, but let's make sure the sides are done first. Oops, a little more paint. Let's see if I can. Okay. There we go. And then you, last but not least. Good. All right. Okay, so let me get my paintbrush rinsed off, get my hands wiped off, and then let me grab my colors. Now we're going to do a white base. Ooh. I think I'm going to have black under my fingernails from doing that for a little while yet. Okay, so I'm going to need white for the base. I use, nope, not burgundy. We want cherry red. For the orange, I usually do burnt orange, green. Did I do new leaf on that one? That's a good question. I don't remember. Kind of want them to be the same color. I like them to be super nice and bright. And then for blue, ironically enough, I actually chose turquoise. The yellow was it cadmium yellow? And the purple, I do believe, yes. Okay, so there they are. Okay. Let me just set them off to the side, because the first thing I need to do is get the white base down. Yeah. I'm going to put a white paper towel down here because black on black is not going to be good for any of us. See these? Okay. All right, where's my 5? All right. That fits perfect. That's beautiful. Okay. And I'm just taking my time on these too because the other thing is they need to dry. They get basically 3 layers, so it's not like I need to rush anything here. Now I only did the glass medium on the black, just to make sure that the black base sticks properly to the lid itself. These other ones are not going to need that though. And then once I finish them, I will be sealing it as well. So I do have a spray sealer that has been pretty darn good. I'll probably use that unless, again, we run into a really hot day, in which case I will just go ahead and paint it, and I'll just use the, what is it, the triple thick. I'll just paint that on if I can't get to spray paint them. And if these touch or overlap just a smidge, that's fine because it's just the base. Oops, that one looks like it's shifted down a little bit. In the end, the little itty bitty tiny things like that, they don't matter. You don't see it at all, so. So now that needs to dry a little bit. So let me see what else I can work on for a minute. Get my tool wiped off here. Some of these things, I need to go back in and touch some of this stuff up, but I'm just looking because I had used a little bit of the charcoal pencil just to make sure that my lines were coming out straight. Keep in mind a lot of this stuff too, I have been doing it at night. So I'll be sitting there, geez, I don't know, anywhere from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I get off of my normal day job. I'll start working on stuff before dinner. I'll go finish stuff after dinner. I will work on stuff in the living room, you know, after my daughter's gone to bed. So I'm out there 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And so, yeah, sometimes you feel like your eyes are going cross and you couldn't make a straight line to save your life. So, okay. Yeah, and right now I'm just taking a piece of my rag and getting off the chalk pencil, or the charcoal pencil, except, yeah, that one doesn't want to come off. I'll paint over that. Okay. So again, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of cleanup work here while I wait for these to dry. Once those are dry, then I've got the 5 colors, or 6, sorry, that I'm going to put on each petal, just like I did the little bugs that I showed you, just like the little key rings. I'm going to add that. So, and then these ones, these I did not actually put on any sort of medium either. I didn't use any medium with them. So, but they've been dry actually less than 24 hours. Geez, I think I finished these around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock last night. So let me get that off of there. So yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of doing some cleanup while we wait for these to dry. I don't know if you can actually tell if you're looking in the light. To me, they're shiny. To me, they shine. So I know that they're still wet. And part of this too is, I don't know if you can actually see, for example, on this one here, right? So when I pulled the swoosh out, I either might have pressed a little too hard or just had a little, not enough paint on my tool. So I'll leave a little mark. So I always go back in and make sure those are all cleaned up. Yeah, there's another tiny spot there. So I've got a little miniature brush, little paint brush. And then I'll just sit there with a cap full of the color and check them all. And then I'll give that one more day before I go in and seal it. So, okay, there's one more of these. Oh, that's right. I can't. I screwed up on this one. So you can see on these top 3 dots, when I placed this dot originally, my tool caught the edge. And so I pulled down a piece of paint there. So I'm going to have to paint over that. We'll clean that up. Okay. And lastly, now this one, I don't know if I screwed it up too bad or not, because tired. I was working on this and I don't know what I did, I'll be honest. So I drew out the original lines, right? Just a horizontal and a vertical, just to get my center point. And then I dropped the center point in and I did the 2 rings, and then I started to fill out the edges. And as you can see, it flattened. Like, I don't know. I have other ones that I did like this. And the pattern came out exactly the same, right? So it had the clear 7 points. This one is flat here in the top and the bottom. So I think just not even thinking about it properly when I did it, I spaced these too far out to the side. And so then I ended up with a really big gap here, right? And smaller gaps here than I do evenly here. And so I tried to compensate. I mean, you can see that I obviously was not doing this really well last night. See all the marks? So yeah, I'm just gonna get the pencil marks off. I'll come back in with my small brush. I'll try to clean this up. And then once it's cleaned up, I'll decide if it's good enough to keep and try to sell or not. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody tell me if it's okay. I see all the mistakes, but realistically, someone else looking at it might not. Right? Someone might think that that's just perfect. So somebody let me know. All right, so those are clean. Let's take a look here. Still a little wet, but might be able to work with that. We can try. Okay, let's go with our red first. I use some really, really bright cherry colors too, so not just like the primary reds, orange, etc. I don't think I used any primary color. No. All right, so let's go down to a 4. We did the base in a 5, so I'm going to jump down to a 4. Being extra slow and careful because I do not, if these are still a little bit wet, I want to be able to catch it, not screw it up. Okay. See, that one's a little too wet. I'm blowing on it like I really think that'll make a difference. Okay. Oops. Okay, so that one's going to need a little touch. And this one. Okay, I'm going to leave those just a smidge longer. Boring for you guys, I'm sure, but okay, I'm going to let that sit. Gotta get my brush washed off here. In the background. Okay. All right, so let's see. Whew, my hands are still black. All right, let me try to get that off. Okay. The only reason I even care at this moment is that if for any reason that's still wet, I really don't want to transfer that onto something. Okay. These are good. I'll let that sit for another second, and then I'm going to go back in and I'll put a dot back over it so that it comes out proper. All right, orange. Yeah, that dried just fine. Okay. Tiny, tiny amounts of paint. The only reason I don't do it out of the lid is because sometimes you don't, even when shaking it and putting it up in the lid, there's just not enough to coat the tool properly. So see, what is this one? New Leaf? Yeah, this was part of the set from last year. You know what? I didn't even get the Americana 2025 set, the color set this year. I hadn't even thought about that. That's funny. I'm sure that at some point I might have seen what colors they were, but I don't even remember. Okay. This is so simple. Really makes it easy. Like I said, for the blue, I'm not even using a regular blue. I'm using a turquoise. But I like the turquoise better than the other blue just because it stands out so well. And then the same for the purple. I actually used magenta. So beautifully bright colors. Okay. Now I'm gonna want to do a dot on the top, but now let me see, what did I do with it? Okay, so they're gonna match this, and then they're also gonna match my bugs. I'll have this cute little, these sets. Now again, these are gonna be magnets. Oh, look at your eye. What happened to your eye, little lady? Oh boy. Okay, we'll have to fix your eyeball. But see, on these originally I did little itty bitty tiny silver dots over them. I didn't on these ones, and I don't know if I should. Let me grab a different one that's not distracting me with your little eye issue. Like I said, such simplistic designs, you just never know how far to go. Okay, so like on these, so I have silver. Well, it's actually, I think it's white pearl. Well, it doesn't matter, silver, white pearl. So I put another extra dot on the top, and then I put the silver pearl here in the middle. And that, again, one of the reasons I did that on this specifically was because of the tactile value of it, just to make sure that they were a little bit raised. I don't know if these necessarily need that, just like the bugs. I still have a chance because I haven't sealed these yet. I don't know. I don't know if they need that. They're kind of cute by themselves. Okay. All right, and so these are, again, let me stick these up here. They're going to be the little jars that these lids go on. My little bud up there. I could just do white. I think I'll just do white. And all that is, all I'm doing right now is just waiting to make sure that those are dry enough. Let me think. The only hesitation that I'm having here at the moment is that I've already done all of these bugs. I did 2 in each of the colors. So I have 12 of those. And do I want to go back in on all 12 and put in the dots? I'm just not sure if it's worth it to do that, or if I should just leave it. What do you guys think? Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. It kind of gives it that little extra. But that's a lot of bugs. Let me see. Let me pull them all out. Because as you can tell, I'm hesitating about it, but I'm also like, yeah, you know what? I kind of need to. I think it'll make a difference. So let's scooch you guys over. Let's see. I gotta sort through them. So we have red, orange, yellow. Purple, okay. Of course, I take through the whole bag, and then the last ones are here. Okay, orange. And the red. Okay. I'm just getting the other ones back in, sorry. Yeah, like I said, this stream, I didn't have anything else planned. I've been working so hard on all the trinket stuff that, yeah, I hadn't focused on anything else yet. Okay. So 1.5 5. It's a little small for these guys. I don't know if I want to go up to a 2 though. Okay. I mean, it's not much of a difference, but it does look cute, right? I'm so glad that these are dry. Move this up a little bit. And then even though it's something that I did, I don't know if anyone actually will ever notice, but I thought about it again way too hard because I thought it would be fun. So I did the colors of their faces, right, to match the colors. And then I made sure that the dot of the face was always on top. Right, so in this one, see the orange dot is on the top with the orange face. So silly, but I did it, so. Just one of those details that I don't know if anyone else cares about or even notice, but it's there. And then my daughter, like I said, she thought that these were Dandy World characters. So when I was about to put the eyes on, the little pupils of the eyes, I was just gonna put them white. And she's like, well, can't you make them a color? I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, you know, maybe you should make the pupils, you know, the eyes, the same, you know, make them colored as well. And I'm like, well, I'm like, that's a lot of work, kiddo. I'm like, oh my gosh. But she's like, well, how about just making him a different color other than white? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do you suggest? And we went down the whole rainbow, and I'm like, well, how about a purple that we haven't used? And that was that. So I don't know if that was the best decision necessarily. I don't know if they look okay with purple eyes, but they have purple eyes. What happened to you, buddy? Looks like you might have gotten damaged, so I'm gonna take the orange and see if I can repair him real quick. There, okay. Super quick repair. I need to repair my little friend's eyeball over here too. So I'll do that. One of the other really tough things that I've encountered is that now that I'm making a lot of stuff, I don't have a whole lot of storage, right? I don't have a place for all this stuff. And not only is my room full of stuff, I put stuff in my closet and then it started spilling out into the living room and into the kitchen. And I do my best to make sure that everything is really, really dry before I try to store it in something like a box or a package of some kind. But, you know, even with these little bugs, I'm putting them in bubble wrap. I've got bubble wrap packages that I'm putting them in. You know, I really don't necessarily have a way to, for example, just lay them all flat. Once they have magnets on them, that'll be different because I think I'm going to buy some sort of a little metal plate for display anyways, and then I can lay them all flat, and so they don't, you know, bump into one another and get messed up. But yeah, like I said, in the meantime, the thing that sucks is they kind of get, you know, pushed together, or there's a chance that they could chip or whatever. And I started using, I don't know if you actually noticed that, I started saving and using the little Amazon bubble wrap packages that they're doing, all the bubble envelopes, and I've started cutting them in half, and then I used them free packing, right? I mean, hey, I don't have to spend money on the packaging stuff that I'm going to be doing. I mean, so much better. Yeah, so my bags are all done now. Let's get back to you. But sometimes it's inevitable that, you know, things get touched and moved and broken and chipped and damaged. So I just got to kind of keep an eye out for things like that and fix it before they end up on my table at a show. They're cute. And with these, I don't think I'm going to mess with trying to spray them. They're so small. It's going to be a disaster. I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint the lids with the Duraclear. Give them like 2 coats. They'll be super nice and shiny and durable. All right, so once I get these finished, I think that's just about all that I've got right now. I need to, like I said, the biggest thing for me next to this is going to be figuring out colors. I have bookmarks to do yet. My ornaments that I did last year, the wooden ones, didn't really sell all that great, so I'm not going to worry about them too much. I would like to have them on the table, but I don't necessarily need them, I think. So Like I said, the jars, the bookmarks, the bugs, they all went like hotcakes. So I'm trying to get these done. And then the trinket dishes, the coasters. So, all right. Okay, so that is all done. These ones need to dry, and then I'll need to be putting a layer of the sealant over them. Let me get some of my paint back in place here. As I throw one, sorry. It's probably very loud. I'm so sorry. Okay. So those are all done. Okay. So this will be the little jar. See, I need to go back over some of this a little bit, but I'll do that. Okay. So those are cute, right? There's really not much that I could think of doing on the jar themselves since they're so tiny. I don't know that it's worth it, so I'm gonna leave it just with that. I also have some other very, very tiny jars that I picked up at the dollar store. I don't know if they're actually going to be worth doing anything with, like this. These ones. I don't even know if I can get it out of there right now. Obviously, I mean, since they're so small, I can put something on them. I was thinking about putting a butterfly on them, but they're so tiny. They're very, very slender. The jars that I had last year, I actually didn't order them again. So, and they were bigger. They were, yeah, they were even bigger than this, wider. So, all right. So I think that's about it. That's all I've got right now. Like I said, guys, let me know what you think for colors. I'm just running out of ideas, I think. I've got bugs galore. I still have a bunch that I can potentially do. Again, I do take inspiration from Lori Bug Rocks. I love how she does them, but I do not want to copy any of the styles directly from her. If you see something, I kind of go through every now and again and try to get my own inspiration for ideas. Just like my little confetti, you know, my birthday cake bug. But if you guys have any color combinations that you would like to see, anything that you've kind of seen, let me know. They don't necessarily have to be bugs. They don't have to have dots on them. I've done mushrooms. I've done frogs. I did cat bugs. I put ears on my bugs last year with like calico colors. My goodness, what else? I don't even know. I don't even know. But if you come up with anything else, let me know. Or if you have a favorite color palette that you'd like to see on them, that'd be great too. So, okay, but I think that's going to be it for me right at the moment. I just don't have really anything else to do. I've got a lot of stuff in the kitchen, honest. That's where I mold my trinket dishes and stuff. So I've got a lot to do in there. And then it is still going to be kind of cool tomorrow. So what I might do is I might go ahead and base paint a couple of my coasters. And then I can come back and live share that with you guys tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon. So that way I actually have something else other than these guys to do for you. But hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I have really been busy while I haven't been streaming or recording. So I hope you like what I've done. I am so sorry that I couldn't do it with you guys, but I will catch you guys next time. I certainly do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging with me. If you guys have anything to share as far as your own craft fair stuff, please share. Drop it in the group because I'd love to see what you guys are doing too, because I know this is kind of the season. So we'll catch you guys later. I certainly appreciate it. Enjoy your evening and happy dotting, guys. Bye.